started. So thank you all for joining me today. I really do appreciate you stopping in, and I can't wait to share with you what I've got today. So stick tight. We will get all set up and situated, get it going. One day I will have all of this stuff figured out, so it's a much easier process, but my millennialism isn't sticking through with technology really well. So yes, we should be about set. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. This is going to be around an hour-long webinar, but I will go quickly through it, not super fast, but I'll go quick enough through it that we're not wasting time. You get all the info you want, and we can get you in and out and ready to go with some good stuff. So if you are here, you are ready to experience freedom from the athletic mindset using these 3 simple shifts, and I cannot wait to share those with you today. So, well, maybe if we can get going. There we go. Hello. So my name is Jessie. I am a health and mindset coach, and I am the creator of Confident and Fit Coaching. So what that means is for about the past 6 years, I've been trying to find the balance with my passion for fitness and also food, and believing that it doesn't have to be all or nothing, up and down, and a quick fix for that next vacation. And I know I found it, and I'm so excited to share that with you today. But here's what we're going to equip you with today, just so you have a good idea of kind of the flow of how it's going to go. But I'm going to show you how to avoid second guessing yourself so that you can finally be confident in your decisions. It doesn't have to be extreme on either end. It can be enjoyable. I'm going to show you how using everything you've learned about food and fitness to create a better tomorrow by taking a new approach you only dreamed possible. And finally, have balance to enjoy this life and create your version of an athlete if that's what you're looking to do. What you think has been off, maybe the one thing that is spot on, and we're going to talk more about that later on. But first of all, before we dive too deep, I just want to go over a couple things because I want to fix your information overload. Because if you're anything like me, you may be an info junkie. You always want to learn something new and understand why things are the way they are, or why certain people are doing certain diets or certain exercises, things like that. So for me, I like to get news articles from Google. So you can go to Google and subscribe to either daily or weekly emails about different articles and different topics. So I get emails about like diet, fitness, heart disease, diabetes, whatever it might be, and get like the top articles of the week in there. So I remember scrolling through them one week, and it had to have been the fitness one. So I was scrolling through the fitness one, and one of the articles, like the headline was the benefits of running, how it helps with weight loss and longevity and whatever else it is. And not even 2 articles below, there was another title about how running is terrible for you. It hurts your weight loss. You actually don't lose weight, and inhibits it, or is hard on your joints, this, that, and the other. It's like, well, the other one said that it's good for you, but then this one's saying the opposite. And same with documentaries. If you have watched any kind of health documentary, some of them will make sense together, but some of them are like on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. So one could say how eggs are super beneficial for you. They're high in protein and fat and good cholesterol, and just like a good staple for your diet. And then there'll be other documentaries where they say that eggs are terrible for you. They're not meant for the human body. We shouldn't be digesting them, comparing them to cigarettes as carcinogens in your body. It's like, well, what? If you're somebody that's been eating eggs for years and you're being told that they're like a carcinogen, what does that make you? How does that make you feel? And same with running. If you've been running for years and you find out that you're doing it wrong, or you hate running and you should be doing it, then what? Because the more we see and hear, the less we tend to actually trust what we know and what we've been doing, believing that everything is a lie, nothing will ever be the right way, and at that point, why even bother? So that's why we need to clear this up now and put you back in charge so you can take control and confidently move forward with the decisions that you make. So just to get this out of the way, there's absolutely nothing to sell here. You don't have to worry about pulling out your credit card for the next information or whatever it might be. But if you do stay until the end, I actually have 2 free gifts for you that you're not going to want to miss, and you can only get them here on this webinar. So fun, but we're going to dive in because you've got big dreams. That's why you're here, right? You want to trust that what you are doing is the best thing for you. You want to feel strong and free and powerful and in charge of your choices and your dreams. But there's always got to be a but. It never sticks. You don't see results, you feel deprived, and you are always second guessing yourself. You're worried it will never happen, change won't come, you'll never reach your goals, or worse, that you aren't even meant to. And that's a terrible place to get when you are so high and so excited and so motivated, but then get pushed back and back and back, and then you start questioning, am I even meant for this? But deep down, you know you're meant for bigger and better things, and that you can do this. No matter what is in the back of your head telling you that you can't, there's still something deep down inside of you that believes you can. And that's what I want to help you find and help you move forward confidently with. So this webinar is for you, just going to clear it up, if you feel that you're on the edge of big changes in your life. Whether it is health-related, life in general, relationships, whatever it might be, or maybe you don't even know, but something inside of you is telling you that something big is going to happen, that you're ready for a change, that you're ready for something new to come. If that's you, you're in the right place. You also desire true balance in your health, and you aren't as worried about the grind that everyone else is doing. Now, I definitely do still kind of subscribe to the grind, but not in the way that I used to, where it was like up at 3 a.m. to get ahead of everyone and working while everyone else is sleeping and hustle, and just pushing yourself into the dirt. If you're still motivated and confident and want to move forward with different things, but you're not as worried about beating everyone else, you're more worried about making it work for you, you're in the right place. So if you are ready to break free and rebel against everything that's been normal for you, I'm ready to kind of share with you some ideas that can help you get to that point. And if you dream of being unstoppable, finding your version of an athlete, if that's what you're looking for, and still enjoying time with family and friends, I cannot wait to share with you today what I've got. But let's be honest, you have not taken the steps that I'm about to teach you today. In fact, you may be avoiding them completely, believing that they're just too easy to work for you, that you have to work twice as hard, that the normal things that everyone else does or that's super simple and makes it look too easy just won't work for you. I want to share that today because by implementing what we talk about today, you're going to find ultimate confidence and trust in yourself and your choices. You're going to see how food can be fun, enjoyable, and healing rather than hurting. Depending on your relationship with food, have you ever thought that those words could fit together? You'll find out that you actually enjoy certain foods more than you thought. Again, depending on what your current diet or food situation is, if you're very limiting or only stick to certain foods, you might find that the ones that you've been keeping out of your diet actually work really well for you. Now, for me, this was a big one because you'll see fitness in a whole new light and start to see it in more areas than just 4 walls. Now, I was the person that if I wasn't in my basic home gym and the one that I always go to, if it didn't have the right equipment, the right weights, the right setup, lighting, mirrors, I had a laundry list of things. And if it didn't have that, I wasn't going to have a good workout. But my mindset has completely changed from that. And if that's you, I'm going to help you get to that point as well. Because you'll want to do more for yourself rather than just feeling like you have to do it. You're going to see that you can and you have that choice, and you're going to be more excited to try more things. And overall, things will seem more balanced and in control, even if and when it gets hectic, because life happens, right? We're never going to be fully balanced and fully in control, but you're going to learn how to roll with the punches and take a much more relaxed approach to things. But I want to be honest with you, what we are not going to talk about today is that quick fix to get you ready for whatever is coming up last minute. I don't have abs in 30 days or a 60-day butt lift. I don't have anything like that. That's not going to be what the free gifts at the end are, in case you were wondering. And this is not for you if you're just looking around for something easy or the magic pill. like I said before, the things that I'm going to share are super simple and super easy to implement, but it does still take some work and it does still take some practice in order to see the positive change and results that can come from it. But if you just don't want to do any work at all and you just want to pop a pill, this is not for you. The benefits and changes that we talk about today won't happen unless you are willing to put the work in for them. So just like what I said before, and if you are truly just not interested in changing your ways for a better tomorrow, then this isn't for you. Like, I want you to be really honest with yourself. If you like weighing, measuring, counting, tracking all of your food and fitness, and you're enjoying it, then this isn't for you. You're not in the place where the information that I have to share with you is going to be beneficial. But if you're still curious and you still want to know, then you are in the right place. I just want to make sure I don't waste your time, because time is precious. And if you're looking for the things that I'm not going to talk about today, feel free to log on off. But if you are and you're still curious and ready to know, then stick with me, because we're going to dive in. But I want to share why I can help first and foremost, because I mean, who am I? I'm Jessie, but who am I really? So I've been working towards this lifestyle, and it really is a lifestyle, for over 6 years. So that means I've done all the hard work for you, between high-level courses, the best and most resourceful programs, implementing trending diets, and training at exclusive gyms. I'm also a personal trainer and fitness instructor, so I've worked with people one-on-one personally, even just with the training side of things, from their early to mid-20s to, I think my oldest lady just turned 87. So on that side of things, I have a broad range of what works for people and what different people do and how different people's lifestyle is and what it is that they're excited and most important, what things are most important to them. So I have all of this knowledge and all of these different things to help you in order to gain your ideal life as well. And on a more personal side of things, what I've been able to accomplish, some of them are, I'm no longer bloated due to my choices, but I can still eat dessert. I'll talk more about this later, but I never even knew that I was bloated until I started making these changes and realized how much my body was not happy with me. I've also managed to lose fat and gain muscle doing this. Something that, well, maybe now they say is more possible, but before they always would say, like, that's impossible. It's either you're losing fat and either not gaining muscle or just trying to maintain it, or you're gaining muscle and not losing fat, and you might be gaining fat if you are gaining muscle. And I've been able to balance it out. And I can confidently say that I've never felt this good all the time. Now, yes, there are days where I will splurge or have more fun with life. And I mean, that's a good thing. But I know what I need to do in order to get back to my comfortable state. It's not falling off the bandwagon every time I give in and have dessert or I go out with friends and family. It's no longer that. And to be quite honest, what I've been doing is also helping other people. They're able to find their balance as well. And I'm a big stickler for what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. So I help people find their way and find their balance. And that's what you can do with what I'm going to share with you today, is you can take everything that I talk about and apply it to your life specifically for your goals and your routine and what lifestyle you want to have. But I want to share a little bit more about my story, so maybe we can connect a little bit more, and maybe there's something that reminds you of yourself. But growing up, I was athletic. I was always around some kind of sport, and I was known for being the consistent one in the weight room. So if I had friends that were doing a early morning lifting class and they were a little scared or questionable about going alone, they would always just stick with me and do what I was doing. Or I had one girl that would come over for a couple months in the morning and train with me. So, I mean, that was really fun. But it really blew up for me when I went to college as far as weightlifting went. I became obsessed and I started falling in love with the iron. And when you start lifting weights and really getting into the gym aspect of things and have a competitive background, bodybuilding is kind of that next step. It's something that is open to anyone as long as they're willing to put the work in and really strive for that stage physique. And that was my next goal. But unfortunately, my love for the iron turned bad when obsession was turned to losing weight. Now, I wasn't super overweight, but I definitely wasn't at a spot where I should be dieting for the stage. I definitely still had some weight to lose in order to get to that point. But I started being restrictive very early on. I started doing fasted cardio at least 3 times a week for 45 to 60 minutes. I was doing 2 hours of weight training every day. And if I had a day off, like gave myself a rest day, I always felt like I was withering away or I was wasting my time. And I was really limiting my calories on top of all of that. So I had absolutely no life. I was either meal prepping, going to school, going to work, or I was training. And that was my life, just cycling and cycling and cycling. And I was aiming to prove that my hard work was paying off. So I was the person always taking selfies in the mirror. Now, I still am, but back then it was more so for progress pictures. I was looking for any kind of difference in my appearance, and I would go and do side-by-sides and be like, do I see any kind of little, even teeny tiny little weight loss or improvement? Because I wanted to show that my hard work was actually paying off. I wanted to see that. But I wasn't seeing progress. I was running on empty. I carried around gummy worms just to keep myself awake for that quick sugar rush. And at one point, I remember seeing stars during my training. So I remember this so vividly because and it wasn't a super heavy training day. It was chest day. So I remember I was sitting up from a flat bench, dumbbell chest press. I put the weights down. I looked over to my friends, and it just started going dark, and I started seeing stars all around them. And looking back, I was starting to black out, but I didn't even think of that. Just thought, oh, I need to go get some gummy worms because I'm low on sugar. No, I'm low on life. I was low on food because the diet life was hitting hard, and I was trying so hard to hit it back. But ultimately, I fell off, and I fell off hard. And I'm also an emotional eater. So all of that deprivation and all of that pushing down and being restrictive, those emotions came back with vengeance. Because I was training so much and eating so little, my metabolism was completely wrecked. And that's why I wasn't losing weight. So when I fell off and just splurged and didn't care, I put on a solid 10 pounds without even really realizing it. And this would stick and plague me for years to come. But then I had a shift after falling off and going into kind of like a dark place. And after tracking and weighing and counting and measuring for 3 solid years, when I decided to kind of get back into it and find a version of my health, I did something radical. I stopped looking at numbers completely. And I started searching for my way, because I knew that my passion, my love, and the things that made me feel good and excited were the reason that I even started this. I needed to find my why again. I needed to find my big reason why I fell in love with it all again. So I challenged myself because I was never able to do the competition. It kept getting pushed back and back and back, that I felt like I could never finish anything, that I was a failure, that was never going to succeed. So I decided to challenge myself. Now, when I work out, I like to wear cutoff t-shirts, and I wear the same like 3 or 4 all the time just because it's simple and basic and they're comfortable. But I have a drawer full of cutoff t-shirts. So I decided to look at them and count them. And the first time I did it, I realized I had 42 cutoff t-shirts, but I only wear the same like 3. So I challenged myself to wear one every single day for 42 consecutive days. And have something fun with it. So I did hashtag 42 cutoff days, where I took a picture, wrote a post, put it out there. And about a year or 2 later, I did the same exact thing. I had gained a few more t-shirts and did 59. So I did same thing, hashtag 59 cutoff days. And if you want to actually see those pictures, they're still up and live out there. Either Instagram or Facebook, just search hashtag 42 cutoff days or hashtag 59 cutoff days, and you'll get a lot of fun faces. But those proved and showed me that I can start and finish something and make progress. So now, since then, I can say for at the very least, a solid 2 years, I've been able to live without stress of my food or fitness. Like if I went out to eat and I couldn't find something that was on my diet or make it healthy, or if I went home for the weekend and just hung out with family and didn't train, didn't feel like I was getting fatter and losing muscle. Like all of that stress around that stuff is completely gone. I no longer have fear or uncertainty or question any of my choices, and I'm healthier than I've ever been, and I'm continuing to find my ideal life. But ultimately, overall, I'm happy, proud, and excited for where I'm at and what the future has in front of me, instead of fearing that it's never going to happen or it's not meant for me. And that's what I want to share with you today, because I've had 3 shifts in order to experience this lasting freedom. And they're super simple. Okay. So number 1, I took and continue to take everything as an experiment. Number 2, nothing was and nothing is off limits. And number 3, I checked how my life overall was in balance. And that's it. I told you it was simple. But let me explain, because I know this is super broad and it probably doesn't make a lot of sense. So I want to explain it so that you're able to start doing it as well. But number 1, so the experiment. Now, I know that there's a lot of things rolling around your head, right? I'm sure you're thinking that this can't be true, this doesn't make any sense, this, that, and the other. So I want you to take anything that's rolling around your head, just throw it away, open up your ears, and really listen to what I have to say, and be open-minded, okay? Open-minded here. So if you take everything as an experiment, then there's no success or failure. It's just an outcome. Good or bad, it's up to you to decide how to move forward. So once you are finally in control, then it's easier to make that decision for yourself. And once you start experimenting and looking at things as a result rather than good and bad, you kind of start to ask yourself more questions like, do I really want to continue doing this if I feel terrible? Or is it worth my time and effort if I really hate this? So here's how I want you to try it. Now, first of all, if you don't feel you can give yourself permission to do this, I give you full permission to have fun with this and to be open with it, okay? So honestly, take a week and look at everything as an experiment. So for example, look at your food. What foods are you eating? How do they make you feel? Do you even like them? Or how about fitness? Like, what do you even deem as exercise? Does it fuel your fire and your needs for life? Do you even enjoy it? So once you start doing that and looking at things as an experiment and looking at things as a result rather than good or bad, I want you to do something else. And that's going to be the second, is I want you to be honest with yourself and the answers that you give. Because the more you start doing this, the more questions you're going to ask yourself and the more open you need to be in order to get those answers. So there's no judgment, there's no stress, and there's no fear. If you go out and find out that the fitness routine that you've been doing and the lifestyle that you've been living for the past 8 years just isn't working out as much anymore, be open to looking at other things. I trained bodybuilding for at least 8 years. That was the training style that I was used to. But the environment that I was in and the circumstances I was going through just this past 6 months forced me to kind of look at things differently, because I found more and more excuses to not go to the gym, to not do the one thing that was my time, my stress relief, the thing that made me happy. And I did something that no bodybuilder really likes to do, or quote unquote doesn't like to do. And I joined a CrossFit gym. And it's been the thing that's helped me through so many different stresses and so many different life changes. And it's brought back my fire in it, my excitement. But being a bodybuilder, having that stigma of CrossFit is terrible and they do those half pull-ups and they're always hurting each other and doing terrible form and whatever it was. But I had to throw that away, because it was the one place, the one thing that when I tried it out, brought back that fire and that excitement for me. So you need to be honest with the answers that you give yourself and figure out how you want to move forward with it, because experimenting really works. Because we don't ask ourselves these questions. We just assume that it's what everyone else is doing, so it must work, right? But we don't actually stop and see if we even like it or not. So we may be told to do something and we just do it, but does it really work for you? Is it something you feel you can take long term and really progress and do better with? And experimenting finally puts you in control, because you find out the right answer and you are no longer the victim to the foods you eat or the workouts you do, because no one is forcing you to eat or move that way. It finally becomes your decision, because it's your result that you're getting. So it's the result you get from step 1, and it's the choice that you make in step 2, what you want to do and what's going to be the best thing for you. So here are the results that can come from just experimenting. And if you don't do anything else, this step alone is going to be huge, because Number one, it's going to just completely set you free. As simple and maybe silly as that is, it really is, because it's going to reduce any stress that you have when it comes to food, because there's no way you can fail at it. I tell my clients all the time when we start experimenting, I was like, the only way you're going to fail at this bit of homework is if you don't eat. If you don't eat, you're going to fail in many different ways. So there's no way that you can mess this up. And it also creates a healthier outlook on choice, because you're starting to ask yourself and you're starting to look deeper and see, like, is this benefiting me? Is this helping me recover? Is this helping me sleep? Is this helping me be more awake and alive at work and around friends and family? And it's your choice at that point. It's also a much easier lifestyle to maintain in general when you take this and just apply it to the rest of your life, experimenting, because you really can have lifelong success with this once 3 little words happen. So lifelong success, once implemented, accepted, and trusted. You first got to give it a try, see what happens. Once you start getting results, you have to accept the results and the answers that you get. And you also have to trust yourself that they're what's best for you, even if the world is screaming out something else, okay? You need to start creating your ideal life, not following somebody else's. Now, number 2, nothing is off limits. Again, I know that little words are crawling into your head and saying, no, there has to be limits. But I want you to throw it out. Just be open-minded to what I have to say, because this goes hand in hand with experimenting. So open your mind, listen to the words I have to say, and don't make any fast judgments, okay? Because if nothing is off limits, then there's nothing to hold you back. You can go and eat that burger, enjoy the dessert table, try that dance class, or go for a walk if you want to. And yes, me as a fitness instructor and athlete and self-proclaimed athlete and health coach is saying, yes, you can go and eat fast food if you want. You can go and enjoy the sugar table and try something that's not weightlifting and do something that isn't running. Because now, of course, there are going to be extremes to this. I'm not going to lie and be naive about it. And I'll explain more about how that works. But if you don't get this practice a try and really turn it into a belief, you're going to forever continue on with, I can't have that. I can't do that. And continue to live in deprivation and continue to live in guilt when you do fall off and have the things that you can't have or do the things you can't do. Okay? We're going to dive into how to try this now. So first of all, again, be open. By accepting that you can, U-C-A-N, capital, do, have, eat, try that thing that you really want to, then you're also telling yourself it will be there again. So this was life-changing for me once I fully accepted it, because it can be so easy to go crazy with. Now, I said in my story that when I fell off the diet life, I fell off hard. I said I'm an emotional and I'm definitely a stress eater. So when I fell off, I was in a very uncomfortable place. I was at a job that I did not like. I was around things that were no longer fulfilling me. So whenever I came home from a stressful day at work, and it was all the time, I would go to the local gas station, which if you're living up in the northern states is Quick Trip, and they are fantastic because at night they have 2-for-1 donuts. And I cannot tell you how many times half of my dinner was just donuts. Honestly, I would put them on a plate, sit in front of the TV, and eat them. Now that is going crazy. That is not having limits. But once I started experimenting with this, I realized that, you know what? Donuts don't make me feel that good. And then it became my choice. And I became in charge of the stress eating, and I became in charge of the things that I was craving. Because second, the more you try and adopt this belief, the less you're going to run into the emotions, the cravings, and the extremes that would normally come with deprivation or being healthy. And I honestly mean this because, like I said, this easily piggybacks off of experimenting, because the more you go into life knowing that you can, rather than you can't, the more conscious and rational you are when making choices. So once I started really experimenting and believing that, you know what, I don't want to have limitations. I don't want to feel guilty when I go to family get-togethers and say no to dessert when I really want to have those scotcheroo bars. I want to be able to say yes to them and be okay with it. Okay? So here's why all of this works. Now, I understand when training and working towards a goal, we know that there are certain sacrifices we need to make. I'm not going to be blind about that. But for a short period of time, we can handle it. Like, for example, if you have a doctor's appointment and you need to get some like blood work done, you usually have to go fasted for at least 12 hours. And you know you can do that. It's not that hard to do. And you know, even if it is hard, afterwards, like maybe you're going to have a really good brunch or a good lunch, or you're going to go and get that cupcake that you've been eyeing for a while. But if you are living off of deprivation and sacrifice with absolutely no end in sight, it is so much easier to fall away from it. And that's what happened to me. I kept pushing back and back and back and back and saying, I'm going to do this show, not this show, and this show, and this show, and this show. And it kept getting pushed back because I didn't feel confident and comfortable with where I was at in order to see that success, because I wasn't seeing any success. But by allowing yourself the option of having, doing, eating, or trying something, it takes off that pressure and that stress because it's no longer off limits. So here are the results that can come from fully accepting this thought. And I really honestly mean it. And I'm not like sugarcoating these or making them sound like they're that great, but it's really honestly true. Stress eating can be reduced, or you can take full control of it. And that's where I'm at right now. Is yes, I still have stressful days and I want to eat a bucket of chocolate and go and like buy my own like self version of a cake, but I don't do that. I'm no longer, and we'll talk about that too, but I'm no longer a victim to my choices, or I'm no longer a victim to my cravings. Is I am fully in control of them. And once you are in control and you know that, like, if I'm stressed out, I'm going to go and do this for myself, but without guilt or stress or anything else, because you don't have to worry about that anymore. And same with bloating. Excuse me. It can be reduced or completely eliminated. Now, I never knew that I was bloated. I didn't even know really what that was or that was a thing until I started experimenting and telling myself that nothing was off limits. Because the stress that you add to yourself when you are eating something that you feel you shouldn't or you feel guilty about, that's going to cause stress in your body. And you can always dive deeper into it, but it literally starts like attacking itself. It literally is like making you feel bad and making you feel uncomfortable and actually adding weight to you. So by reducing your stress, you're also going to be reducing your bloating and start living just a more comfortable life. Also, the all or nothing thinking, it just no longer works because obviously everything is available, so nothing is off limits. You also feel in control over the options rather than a victim to them. So just like I was saying, and you can actually enjoy it when you go out and you have treats or you have a cheat meal, knowing that it will be back. This isn't going to be the one and only time that you can do it. This is going to be something that is readily available. And it doesn't have to be on a specific day if you don't want it to be. If you normally have like a cheat day on Sunday and it's just one meal, well, what if I want to go and have brunch with a friend on Wednesday? Or the bakery downtown just posted like all their cupcakes and they're beautiful and I'm going to go grab one today, even though I'm not supposed to have a treat, but I can. The last thing that you need to do is check to see if your life is imbalanced. Because it's one thing to eat the right foods and to move the right way, but it's a whole other thing to have all of your life working together and living in balance. Now, we're just going to dive straight into how to try this because, spoiler alert, this is one of your freebies. So this is literally what you're going to get. So pay attention because I'm going to give you a quick update on your homework or show you how to do this. So this is called your Wheel of Life. And in your Wheel of Life, you have many different pieces of the pie. So different areas that make up your life and your interests and everything in general. So what I want you to do is in each piece of the pie, Along the line, I want you to put a dot with how satisfied or happy you are in that area. If it's closer to the center, you are less satisfied, but if you're farther out of the circle, then you're more satisfied with it. So for me, for example, my physical activity, since I've switched things around and found my fire, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. So honestly, that's going to be like farther out, if not on the edge of the circle for me, because I'm really happy with it. But my social life kind of sucks right now, to be completely honest. So my dot's going to be farther into the circle. I am making progress, and we're going to talk about that too. So it's not as far in as it was a couple weeks ago, but it's still lower than where I'd like it to be, I think. So I want you to do that with all of them, okay? And once you've done that, once you have all of your dots on your pie pieces, I want you to connect your dots. And that's going to be your new circle, your new wheel of life. Now, what I've been saying this whole time, do not stress, do not judge, do not get worried if and I'm pretty positive, unless you're in a really good place, which if you are, congrats, but most of us are not when we first do this. So you're probably going to create a shape that we did not learn in kindergarten that probably has no name, and that's totally fine, okay? We all need to start somewhere, and the fact that you're even doing it proves and means that you are ready and you are looking for something else to progress and something else to change for a positive thing. So once you've done your dots, once you've connected your dots for a circle and everything like that, I want you to look at it, and I want you to choose 2 or 3 areas that you feel need the most help. And I don't want you to think that just because you're getting this off of a health-based webinar that it needs to be health related, if that's one of the areas. I want you to be completely honest. I actually did this with one, I do this with all of my clients, but one of them in particular, when we did this, her top 3 were like creativity, social life, and home cooking. Those are the things that were like crying out to her and like, help me. So I said, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to list them 1 to 3. 1 being the most important, 3 being not as important, but it's still something that needs work. And I want you to be honest. Just because I am your health and mindset coach does not mean that I want number 1 to be home cooking. I want you to be honest with what's really calling out to you and what's really wanting the most help right now. She's like, okay, they are creativity, social life, home cooking. Perfect. Right there was so much growth because she took away the feeling of having to put something else first in order to please me or in order to progress with what we were talking about. But she chose something else because that's what she needed the most help with, and that's what was crying out to her most. And that is when your circle becomes more balanced. Now, I'm not going to lie. We are never going to be completely imbalanced because in order to progress and reach certain goals, some things need to be sacrificed a little bit, but it's when they become so sacrificed that we no longer have them in our life, that's when we need to really start looking at it. And that's what we want to avoid from this point moving forward. So I want you to do that. List them top 3 and be honest. What is literally calling out to you? Because they will. When you start looking at this and start opening your mind to what is it that I really want instead of feeling like you have to force it, things will be said to you and things will pop out. And when you do that, I want you to start asking yourself questions like, how would I bring balance back to this area? And what wants to be nourished here? How do you want to do it? How do you want to go about it? What do you want to do in order to progress it? So just because it's listed as social life doesn't mean you have to go out all the time. Maybe it's just contacting a friend you've been meaning to. Or creativity doesn't mean you need to go and take a painting class. Maybe creativity for you is just like cleaning up your sitting area or reading a book or going for a walk and listening to music. Maybe that's creativity. Maybe that's joy. Whatever it needs to be, but it needs to be specific to you. So here's why it works. If you aren't living a balanced life, then nothing will be beneficial and help you grow. So no matter how awesome and shredded your 6-pack is or how lifted your butt is or how many green vegetables are in your grocery cart, if the rest of your life is being sacrificed and falling short, you're never going to get fulfilled, especially when it comes to like the physical side of things. So by doing a self-check, you can pinpoint what might be holding you back, crying out for attention, or in need of just some extra care. Because it's going to be written out to you. It's going to literally, you're going to be able to see it. It's written out in front of you. So you can also truly know if you're feeling fulfilled and happy with where you're at. Because you can honestly start looking at it and being like, okay, is my circle really small? Is it really awkward looking? Or is it kind of full? So you can start looking at things in general too. Like, for example, are you really upset with your job? Or is it because between work and family, you have no extra time to do the creative things that just calm your soul? So maybe you think, oh, I need a new job. I hate what I'm doing. But when you do this, you realize, you know what? I'm really enjoying what I do. This is what I've always wanted to do. So it's not that. Maybe it's family, because I'm spending a lot of time with my family. But we're closer than we've ever been, and I'm making progress, and we're sharing more, and it's been a great relationship. But maybe it's because you're spending so much time on those and making them awesome and growing and inspiring that you actually haven't taken time for yourself on a personal level. So maybe that's why things feel out of whack, because your creativity is falling short. And for me, sometimes that's just, I haven't gotten my flowers on my desk yet. That's why I'm feeling off. And it's literally just going and buying like $2 worth of flowers, putting them on my desk, and I feel better. It can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be monumental. It doesn't have to take months and months to do. It can be little things that start progressing and making things better. So here are the results that can come once, and this is just super simple, but once you fill this sheet out and really honestly do the self-check, clarity is going to ring loud and clear for what is lacking. Like I said, it's going to be written out in front of you. You're going to have to deny it in order to not see it. And you can confidently, once you see those results and once you see what is ringing out, you can confidently move forward in areas that you are happy with. So I don't have to try and force myself to do more exercise because I'm happy with where I'm at with my physical activity. If I want to progress and do more, I can do that later. But there are other things I need to focus on now. So I can kind of, in a sense, coast with where I'm at because I'm really happy with it, and focus on other things in order to bring them up so I can grow even more in other areas. And then you also know the changes that need to be made to be fully balanced. So because, for my example, my social life is diving in, maybe the rest of my circle looks a little bit better. And that's where I need to focus on bringing it back out so everything is in balance so I can start growing it even more and even more and even more. And honestly, this is just one extra tool for you to keep yourself in check. I'll print these off every once in a while, and I usually do it like every couple months or so just to see where I'm at, honestly, because we're all human. Things come up, and sometimes we don't pay as close attention as we want to. So it's good to have those self-checks. And honestly, it's as easy as that. Those are the 3 simple shifts that I had in order to experience this lasting freedom. And I'll say it again, because I took and continue to take everything as an experiment. Nothing was and nothing is off limits. And number 3, I checked how my life overall was imbalanced. And it's just as simple as that, honestly. So now you know. Hey! So these are the steps that I've personally taken to experience lasting freedom and how I am continuing to achieve this and more. And I'm continuing on that journey. And that's the fun thing about this too, is that it's not a destination. It's a continuous journey to kind of see where it's going to take you. So you've heard how it works and how I've done it. So now it's up to you to give it a try. But I'm going to be honest with you because I care about you. It's not going to be easy. Because I shared with you, it's taken me at least 6 years, if not more, to get to this point. Because there's life, there's schedules, there's seasons, there's likes and dislikes, there's accountability, unexpected curveballs, and maybe even injury. I had one of my clients have to go through like a random like major surgery in the middle of our session, in the middle of our coaching. So I don't want these things to hold you back from all the greatness that's in you. Because if you're here, you have either started wanting to go down this path or you have been trying to go down this path alone for way too long. So I want to help a bit more if you're interested and make sure that this is a smooth transition and really you're able to dive in and make these things happen and finally see the results you've always wanted. So we're getting to the free stuff now. So in the beginning, I told you I had 2 free gifts for you, and I'm really excited to talk to you more about them. So first of all, this is the biggest one. I've set aside some time in my schedule to talk to you personally, one-on-one, about how you can apply these realizations to your life specifically. So like I said, it's kind of just an overall example of how to do it. We can talk about how you can specifically start doing it completely free of charge. Now, sometimes when you sign up for these calls, it's somebody else that you're talking to, or maybe you've never done it before, but you're literally going to be talking to me. The person you see on the little screen on the corner of this on your computer, you're going to be talking to me. Literally, you're no one else. So the second thing, like I told you, you're going to get my wheel of life. And this is the thing that I use specifically personally with my clients and what we do in our program. So you're going to get a little tidbit secret. So this is going to be actually in the replay as a download. So be sure to look in your be sure to check your email in the next couple hours for the replay, the download, everything else that you're going to need. Okay. But we're going to go back to the call because this one's big and important. So what can you expect from our time together? Because I'm sure you're curious, well, what's going to happen? Right? Because in the call, we're going to talk about how, in the call, you will find out. Let me just make sure I'm reading the screen right. What is really holding you back from your goals and what's most important to you about them? Okay? Would that be beneficial to have somebody else help you pinpoint what that is that might be making it difficult for you? We're also going to talk about how to create lasting belief in yourself to finally live in freedom. When was the last time you believed in yourself? Has it been a while? Would you like to have that belief and that trust and be able to move confidently forward? I'm also going to show you how to make things work this time when it hasn't in the past, using our simple realizations specifically for you. Okay? So what we talked about today, I'm going to show you how you can apply them yourself. So it's not a guessing game. It's not questioning. You're going to know moving forward. And then finally, you will use all of this to follow through and create the lifestyle you've been trying to make for so very long. Because I have been in your shoes. It is frustrating. It is stressful. It can be crying all alone in the corner because you just do not understand and you're trying so hard to create the life that you keep seeing online, the thing that everyone seems to be having such simple success with. You are going to be able to have that lifestyle. So I call this my discovery call because a lot happens on here. So on the call, if you feel and see the value in working together and you want to progress more and you can see how working with me personally one-on-one, you're going to be able to most definitely accomplish those goals, then we can talk about what that can look like, and I can possibly invite you to become a client if I think you would be a good fit for my program as well. And if we decide working together is the best choice for you right now, then we can start right away and make sure that you are on the right track. Because let's be honest, on these calls, you can really get excited, or on these calls and on these webinars, you can really get excited and like, oh, I can't wait. And I see possibilities and like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So we want to use that momentum and continue going. Because if we wait like maybe a week or two, things will come up. You'll start questioning, like, is this really what I should be doing? Do I really have the time now? And I said this on my Facebook page today, but you're never going to get yesterday back. Tomorrow's never going to come, and now's the time. You only have now, so we want to make sure that you are progressing as quickly and we are diving in and keeping that momentum going. But in all honesty too, if we decide that maybe this isn't the right choice for you, maybe you need something else and working together isn't the best option, then that's totally fine too. Because please, please know that just because you sign up for a call, it does not mean that you are signing up for coaching. You are not signing your life away. It's far from it. This is honestly just my gift to you. It's a whole hour of my time to bring clarity to you so you know what to do moving forward. And if that is working together, then we just dive on in and have even more fun. So, but first, I have a few requirements for everyone that wants to do a call, because this not only prefaces if working together would be good, but it also prefaces if you are going to really have success and really be ready to make these changes and have these things apply. So you must, number one, be willing to go out of your comfort zone in order to grow. This can be as simple as signing up for a call, because you may not know me. You may have been following me for a little while. You may have just seen me. So the fact that you're going to talk possibly to a complete stranger about some of your biggest and deepest goals, that's a huge out of your comfort zone thing. So just doing that is going to be huge and means so much. You also must be open and honest with not only yourself, but with me when trying something new, or when we talk about something new, or when we're just diving deep, okay? The more open and honest you are, not only with me, but with yourself, the more progress you're going to make. You also need to be ready to honestly, truly get away from those quick fixes and try something that is going to last this time. Because lasting change takes time. It takes work, but you're going to appreciate it more, and you're going to become a master at that habit change and at that trait. So you also need to be dedicated and ready to put yourself first to see the results you want. So a lot of the people I work with are moms or busy business professionals or athletes or competitors or college students, whatever it might be. But they are all doing other things and putting themselves out there and helping others and putting themselves last. But in order for you to, one, not only see the goals and dreams that you have come true, but also do more of that and help even more people, you need to put yourself first and grow and kind of not fix, but give yourself some time to really take charge. Because once you start doing that, then you're going to have even more to help and more to fill others up as well. So why am I doing this, you may be asking, right? So honestly, I'm offering these calls because I want to help and be of service first and foremost. I also want you to implement what we talked about today without any struggle, questions, wasted time, or any more wasted money. Because dude, been there, done that. Because so that you can get the results you are looking for faster and with ease. I don't want it to take you another 6 years to find this stuff out. I don't want it to take another even year for it to happen. I want you to see those results as quickly as you possibly can and start to have that mindset shift so you can live your healthy life. Now, I do have call spots, but they are limited. So if you are at all interested, please go to apply. Oh my gosh, stop getting ahead of yourself. I need you to apply at confidentandfit.com/apply. Like I said, call spots are limited, so now is the time to book. And whenever I open up slots, they fill up quite quickly, and I only have a small amount to offer in the next few days. So it's not scheduling a call out in the next week or two. It's literally in the next couple days. So if you are at all interested, now is the time to apply and find your best time. And I am so excited to chat with you. And I mean that. I truly, truly mean that, because if you are here, you are just like me. I have been in your shoes, and I know what it's like to live in frustration and to live in questioning and to just want to be successful and create your best version of yourself and your best person and see what all your potential is. So again, if you would like to chat and really make sure that these things really stick and are able to be applied, go to confidentandfit.com/apply. Pick your time. You're going to get a confirmation email once you do. And on that confirmation email, it's going to ask for you to fill out an intake form. I really would like you to do that because it's going to give me a good idea of where you're at and where this call is going to go so I can be of most service to you. Okay? Again, confidentandfit.com/apply is going to be everything you need. And I am so very thankful that you joined me today. So like I said, this is going to be in a replay. You're going to get an email in the next hour or two with all the other links that you're going to need. But if you would like to claim your spot in your ideal time for a call, you'll want to go to confidentandfit.com/apply right now. And I am so excited to chat with you some more about all this. It is going to be fantastic and great. But until we do, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.